3 red cards. Absolute unfiltered madness at Estadio Azteca. We are talking a complete and total breakdown of discipline on the pitch. A fiery, chaotic, edge-of-your-seat brawl to open the tournament. You literally could not look away from this finish.
Now that you've caught your breath, welcome to Soccer Prime Tonight. I'm your host, and man, what a match day one we just witnessed. The energy is absolutely electric tonight. In this explainer, we are breaking down all the massive storylines, the major tactical shifts, and an opening group stage slate that delivered on literally every single level. Let's get right into it.
First up on the headlines, Mexico's opener, complete, unadulterated chaos. 3 players sent off. Right after that, South Korea pulling off an epic comeback, just pure tactical resilience. Which leaves us with crushing, immediate pressure in the Group A standings. 2 teams sitting perfect, 2 teams already fighting for their tournament lives because of catastrophic tactical collapses.
Let's kick things off with El Tri's wild opener. Mexico 2, South Africa 0. Picture this, over 80,000 fans packed to the rafters at Estadio Azteca. The noise? Deafening. The expectations? Sky high.
And Mexico wasted absolutely zero time feeding off that incredible crowd. Julian Quiñones strikes in the 9th minute. Why? Because Mexico deployed this relentless, man-to-man high press that completely trapped South Africa's center backs. It forced a brutal defensive mistake right out of the gate. They smelled blood early, and they didn't let up for a single second. Then, in the second half, Raúl Jiménez gives us an absolute masterclass in veteran positioning. He recognized a massive zonal marking failure in the South African penalty area, drifted seamlessly into the blind spot of the trailing defender, and delivered a commanding header in the 67th minute. He read the flight of the ball flawlessly. That's clinical finishing when it matters most, and it essentially put the game completely out of reach.
Clinical? Yes, for sure. But then the wheels completely fell off the discipline wagon. The timeline of this match reads like an absolute disaster class in composure. Spefelo Sitole gets sent off in the 49th minute. Right there, South Africa's tactical shape is destroyed, their momentum completely evaporates. You simply cannot play down a man for an entire half against a high-pressing team in this tournament. The gaps open up, the legs get incredibly heavy. Then, as if it couldn't get any worse, Themba Zwane sees red in the 84th minute, down to 9 men. And just to cap off the sheer madness, Mexico's Cesar Montes gets sent off deep in stoppage time for a reckless challenge. It was an incredibly fiery, chaotic finish that totally overshadowed what was otherwise a highly structured Mexican performance.
From the chaos of Azteca, we shift over to our next match, the comeback. South Korea defeats Czechia 2-1. This one was the polar opposite of our first match. A brilliant showcase of tactical resilience from South Korea, grinding out a victory that tested every single ounce of their system.
Let's break down the turning points here, because the tactics dictated absolutely everything. Czechia takes the lead in the 59th minute through Ladislav Krejci, but instead of shifting into a compact low block to lock down the match, they left massive gaping holes between their defensive lines, and that gave Hwang In-beom all the space he needed to operate. He equalizes in the 67th minute. Hwang completely exploited those pockets. He drops deep to collect the ball, draws the Czech midfielders out of position, and bypasses their press entirely. He was dictating the tempo by constantly finding the right passing lanes. And then the final tactical masterstroke. South Korea's coaching staff brings on Oh Hae-young-pyu. The super sub exploits those tired legs and bags the winner in the 80th minute. An absolute masterclass in in-game management.
All right, time for our best player of the day debate. For me, it has to be Hwang In-beom. That was a match-changing midfield masterclass. When his team went down, he didn't panic. He took the ball, changed the geometry of the pitch, and dragged South Korea back into the game entirely on his own terms. Now, I know there's a massive argument to be made for Raúl Jiménez right now, and it's a completely fair point. Mexico's match was descending into a total brawl, red cards flying everywhere, and Jiménez provided that crucial veteran composure amidst absolute chaos. That header wasn't just a goal, it was the ultimate pressure release valve for 80,000 screaming fans. That is true leadership. But honestly, I've got to stick with Hwang. His technical dominance and ability to dictate the flow for 45 solid minutes is the foundational reason his team won. Technical mastery beats out a single moment of composure for me, even in a hostile environment.
We can debate the best individual player all night, but the biggest story of the day boils down to this. Czechia struggled to maintain control after taking the lead. Going up 1-0 in a World Cup group stage match and then just tactically collapsing, that is a massive red flag.
You work so hard to break the deadlock, and to throw it away through poor spatial awareness in the midfield, it's criminal. This is the storyline that is absolutely going to dominate the soccer headlines tomorrow morning. You have to close out games at this level, or you are going to be punished.
Which brings us to our biggest winners and losers. The biggest loser today? Without a doubt, South Africa. You completely destroy your own chances by finishing a match with 9 men. The lack of discipline is entirely inexcusable, especially when goal difference matters so much in group stage tiebreakers. And on the flip side, the biggest winner is easily South Korea's coaching staff. Their bench impact was flawless. Bringing on Oh Hyun-gyu to score the winner proves they have the tactical depth to make deep runs in this tournament. When your substitutes understand the assignment perfectly and can immediately exploit the opposition's weaknesses, you become an absolute nightmare to game plan against. That kind of depth, that's a tournament-winning trait.
So, what does this all mean for the Group A standings? Mexico sits at the top with 3 points and a +2 goal difference. South Korea is right behind them, also on 3 points, with a +1. They've set themselves up beautifully for advancement. Meanwhile, Czechia and South Africa are sitting on 0 points. The pressure on those bottom 2 is now immense, and it is immediate. Historically, escaping a group stage after starting with a negative goal difference is a monumental task. You aren't just fighting for points anymore, you're fighting against the math. A -2 hole for South Africa means they don't just need a win next match, they need a dominant win just to pull even.
Looking ahead to match day 2, the stakes could not possibly be higher. Czechia versus South Africa is now a desperate, bare-knuckle fight for survival. Whoever drops points there is essentially booking an early flight home. Neither team can afford to sit back. But the main event, Mexico versus South Korea, that is a premium heavyweight clash that will likely decide who takes the top spot in Group A, and potentially who avoids a brutal round of 16 matchup against a tournament favorite. You are not going to want to miss that one.
I am calling it right now. With that home crowd behind them, Mexico takes the group. But man, South Korea's midfield is so disciplined, they could easily edge it. We want to hear from you though. Who wins Group A? Is it Mexico? Or is it South Korea? Drop your answers in the comments right now. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Soccer Prime tonight. We're bringing you daily, elite explainers of all the tournament action. We'll see you tomorrow for more Prime Soccer analysis.